Hey everybody, this is my September DVD update. I have two box sets in this video and just regular DVDs. Unfortunately, I didn't get any Blu-rays this month because basically all the Blu-rays that I've been wanting to get I got last month because, I had a whole bunch of Blu-rays in my last update. So I basically got everything I wanted as far as that goes. So that's why I don't really have any in this update, but anyway, I'll go ahead and start off with one of my box sets. And the first box set is the Omen box set. It has all of the original Omen movies plus the remake. I know that I've only seen the first one, and I know that the sequels are probably really bad, and the remake is probably really bad too, but I found this for just $13 at Sam's Club, and I figured, $13 for a really nice set, you can't really go wrong. So I went ahead and bought it, and I'll go ahead and show you what they look like. Okay, we got the remake first, which I did see clips of this one, and it looked really dumb, so I don't think I'll be seeing this one anytime soon. But there's the inside of that. And then next up is the Omen, the first one. I have seen this, but I can't really remember a whole lot about it, but I definitely am going to give it another watch this Halloween. And this is a 2-disc edition. Then next up we have the Omen Part 2. There's the inside of that. We have the Omen Part 3. And then last we have the Omen 4, The Awakening. Yeah, I know these sequels are probably really bad, but I got these all for just $13, so if you ever go to Sam's Club, you should pick it up. And then next we have a TV series. It's Season 6 of Everybody Loves Raymond. I got this because it was on sale and because it has some of my favorite episodes on it. One of those episodes is the one where Marie makes a statue, and she gives it to Raymond and Deborah, and they realize that the statue looks like something really inappropriate, but Marie doesn't realize it, and they're afraid to tell her. It's a really funny episode. And then also another funny episode is called Frank Goes Downstairs. It's the one where, Raymond injures his wrist, and he keeps on telling people that it was because he fell down the stairs because he's too embarrassed to say why he really injured his wrist, and so Frank starts fixing their stairs and he falls through them. It's a really funny episode. It's kind of hard to describe, though. But, if you ever do hear that those episodes are on TV, you should check them out. Anyways, here's the inside. This is a really funny show. I do watch this on TV often. Okay, now on to just the DVDs. Got The Haunting in Connecticut. This one and the next two are movies that my mom got for herself. This one, The Haunting in Connecticut, I haven't seen it. I don't really plan to see it because I'm not a huge fan of these kinds of movies. I have heard decent things about this one, though, but I'm still not sure if I'll actually watch it. Okay, next up, this one I actually have seen. It's called The Burning Bed with Farrah Fawcett. It's a made-for-TV movie. This is actually a really good movie. I missed about the first half hour of it, though, but anyways, it's about Farrah Fawcett's character. She's married to this guy, and they have 3 kids, and this guy that she's married to is really abusive to her, and he beats her up, and he calls her names and treats her like crap in front of their kids, and their kids basically have to sit there every day watching their dad beat her up all the time. And she keeps on trying a whole bunch of different ways to get away from this guy, but of course he always ends up catching her every time and then beating her up even more. But yeah, it's really disturbing to watch, but it's actually a really good movie. I would recommend giving this a try. The next up we have Back to the Future. This is only $6.99 at Best Buy. It was on sale. My mom got this for herself, and I haven't actually seen this, but I've heard all kinds of great things about it, so I'll definitely have to check this one out. And this one's a 2-disc. And here's the inside of this one. Sorry, I've just gotten over a really bad cold, and I'm still not completely over it yet. But anyways, next up is one I've been wanting to get for quite a bit now, and it's the Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. I got this off eBay for $7.50, and I know it doesn't have a slipcover, but I figured for $7.50 you can't go wrong, so I went ahead and grabbed it, because, you know, this DVD for brand new, it sells for like $35, or at least from what I've seen, and I figured $7.50 for a used copy is a pretty good deal, even though it doesn't have a slipcase. And I think that because it didn't have a slipcase, that was why it sold for such a low price. But I did get it, which is a good thing. And in my opinion, of all Disney sequels that I've seen, of like the animated classics, I think that of all the sequels that I've seen, this one has to be probably the best one. Because to me, like, I know some of you might not agree, but when I watch some other Disney sequels, basically all I see is just the same characters from the first one singing songs for 2 hours, basically. But this one, that's not the case. It actually has more of like a story to it, rather than just the same characters from the first one singing songs for 2 hours like the other ones, in my opinion. And it actually does have a really good story. It's about Simba. He's all grown up, and he's king of Pride Rock just like his father was. And he has this daughter, and his daughter ends up falling in love with this other lion that's part of this group called the Outsiders. They were Scar's family, you know, Scar from the first one, the really bad one. They were his family, and they're basically wanting to get revenge on Simba, and they were banished after Scar died, and like they're following in his paw prints, and they want to get revenge on Simba. So like they come up with this big plan for this lion. His name is Kovu, the one that Simba's daughter falls in love with. They come up with this plan for him to go to Pride Rock and then win over Simba's daughter to get Simba so that he can kill Simba to get their revenge. But of course, like, he ends up really falling for her, and he ends up not wanting to kill Simba, and like there's a lot more to it than that, but I don't want to spoil it. But anyways, here's the inside. It's in perfect condition too, so I definitely do think I got a great deal on this, but yeah, I would recommend checking out this sequel. It's actually really good. And then next up we have The Iron Giant. This is one I used to really love as a kid. I remember back in the 90s when this came out to theaters, I remember seeing it in theaters. And not that it matters or anything, but one thing I do remember when I saw this in theaters was there were these old ladies sitting behind us that were talking throughout the movie, and it really made it a bad experience just because it was really annoying, but it was still a really good movie. We really enjoyed the movie though. But yeah, I already did own this on DVD, but the copy that I had, it was defective. Like, it kept on pausing for several seconds, and then it would start playing again throughout the movie, and it was really annoying. So, like, I found this for $5, and I just said go ahead and replace it, because honestly I never really planned on replacing it. I thought about just living with it, but when I found this for $5, I figured just go ahead and replace it. So I did, and thankfully this copy plays a lot better. In fact, it has no defects, which is good. But yeah, this is a really good movie. It's about this little boy. It's set back in like the 50s or something like that. It's about this boy named Hogarth, and it's about this Iron Giant. And this Iron Giant comes from outer space, and it crashes on Earth, and it's basically just wandering around. Like, it doesn't mean any harm, but it's just like wandering around and becomes like a danger to the community. But this boy ends up developing this strong friendship with this giant. But of course, like, the government and the whole entire community thinks that this giant is dangerous, and they're trying to destroy it, and he's trying to protect it from being destroyed and all that. It's a really good movie, and the last half hour or so is pretty intense, and it's definitely a tearjerker too. But yeah, it's a really good movie. I would recommend checking this out. And there's the inside. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end it right here, but I'll be back with the second part.